friends, it's Emily from burlapkitchen.com, and today we're going to make something really cute with some foam board, and we're going to use some plates as a template. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of foam board, lay a larger plate on, make a circle, and then lay a smaller plate on and make a circle. So I'm just measuring to make sure that I got it in the center. I'm just kind of using a paint stick to kind of get a better idea of where the center is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with a box cutter. I'm going to cut this little piece off, or this large piece off, so it's easier to work with. So I'm just going to cut that off with my box cutter. I had to get my scissors there for the end, but a box cutter will work just fine for this. You want to go very slowly and take your time on this so your circle comes out nice and as clean as possible. Now the edges are going to be a little bit jagged. But we're going to fix that. So like I said, just take your time with this, go nice and slow. You probably have to do it one time and then go around another time, to get it to come out. So then you have a circle that looks like this. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take some beads. I always get the multi-pack of beads. Remind me, and I can drop the link in the comment. You will actually need 2 packs of these beads because they didn't have enough of each size, for one. So you'll need 2 packs of the multi-size beads if you do this project. So I sped this up really fast. All that I did was I took the beads. There was 2 sizes, a slightly larger bead and then a slightly smaller bead. I did the larger ones on the outside of the circle and then the smaller ones on the inside of the circle. And I just sped this up real fast. I'm just gluing them around. You can see how I'm doing that there. And then you want to get all the little spider webs and stuff off from your hot glue gun before you paint. So now I'm going to come in with pewter gray. This is an apple barrel paint. You can get it at Walmart. And I'm going to paint this entire thing front and back with a pewter gray. So make sure that you get it really good in between where the beads meet and stuff like that. So you're going to have to kind of twist it all around and make sure you got every little part painted good there. So I'm going to give it a quick dry, and then I'm going to turn around and do the back. And again, make sure you get everything painted. Look at the sides good because you don't want any of that to be exposed when you're finished with your project. So just look at the sides good and the corners and make sure you got all those beads painted well. Then once it's nice and dry, I took one more final coat around the top, just a rough coat, just to touch up a little bit. And then I gave it another dry. Then I'm going to come in with some metallic silver and a sponge and just a little bit, and I'm going to sponge it all over my project. So you want to see some of the darker gray coming through the silver. So you're just sponging it on. Then make sure it's nice and dry. Then we're going to come in with some baking soda and some brown oxide paint and mix them. That's going to give your paint texture, and then you're going to want to sponge it on. So that's just going to make it look like it's a real rust. So when you see it up close, it'll have little, it'll just look like real rust. So that baking soda just adds more texture to it. Then make sure it's nice and dry. Then I have this hello sign. I found these at Walmart. They had a couple different ones, so I grabbed a few of them. So I'm just going to stain this. I'm using Minwax in the color Dark Walnut. Make sure to wear gloves and do it in a well-ventilated area. Once it's nice and dry, then I'm going to paint it, and I forget what color this is, but it's like a teal color. So I'm going to paint it with that. And it was kind of a little bit of a pain to get down in between the H and the O and stuff like that. So you have to use kind of a smaller paintbrush. You're going to want to add 2 coats of paint here. And then give it a nice dry. So once it's dried, then I'm going to take my sanding block and just go over that quick. And then I found those little, you just see me hold them up. They came in 1 pack at Walmart. It was like a pine cone and a couple pumpkins and gourds. So I have those, and then I have these flowers. All of these flowers came from Walmart. That's where I've been getting most of my flowers this fall. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, but I made a mistake. Don't glue that on yet. So don't do that just yet, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down my flowers. Now, I will tell you, this part was tricky. When you glue your flowers down, I kind of sped through it in the video. You literally have to, because of that wire, you have to hold them down in place until it's completely dry and then move on to the next flower. So be patient with this part. This entire project is a little bit longer than most of my projects, so you're just going to have to be very patient with this one. But it did turn out really cute. So just hold them down in place, make sure they're dry. Then I put a little bit of extra glue on top just to make sure everything stayed in place. So then I had these pine cones, and I'm just going to stuff them in randomly because I want this to look like fall. And then I decided to go ahead and paint my pumpkin teal. Just take those stems out. So I wanted 3 pumpkins, but there was only 2 in a pack. I cut it in half. I cut it in half. But it actually would look better, I think, if you just went ahead and bought another pack of pumpkins. But I didn't have one, so I had to improvise. So I'm just going to paint that same teal color that I used on the hello sign, just to make it pop. And then I came in with the brown oxide again, and I'm just going down the creases of the pumpkin just to make it look more like a pumpkin, since I painted it teal. And you'll just have to use one of those really skinny paintbrushes, you know, the ones that you rarely ever use. At least I rarely ever use them. But you have to use one of those for this. And then you can put those stems back in. But you'll see here in a minute, I'm going to cut that one pumpkin in half. So I'm just going to finish this up. And I did dry brush some brown, the same brown color, onto my pumpkin. Then just to give it a little more like rustic look. So I'm just going to take a serrated knife and I'm just going to cut that right in half. I'm going to add my stem, but I pulled it out of this one then because you can't even see it there anyways, and decided to use it on the top one. So I'm going to glue my pumpkins in place. I wish I had another one for the top maybe, but I was just working with what I had. So I took that stem out and put it in this one here, and it turned out super cute. So here's where I messed up. So I'm going to very carefully take that hello back off, and what you're going to want to do is put your, whatever you're going to hang your sign with, or your wreath with, on first. And then go ahead and glue the hello down. So I just looped that around on there and then glued that hello down. I made it way too long, so I'm just going to shorten it up a bit. And then that is it. Guys, this turned out so cute. Let me know below what you think of this one. And for more fun ideas just like this, please head over to burlapkitchen.com. Thank you.